I'll hit refresh so I can see it
Good morning, everybody.
live.
Good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Sunny, welcome. Glad to have you, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I think this is actually my first ever live stream.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to make you feel a little bit welcome, and you have the honor of being the first Canadian on the
Oh my
stream.
God. Wow, that's such an honor.
I was gonna
I
tape
can't
it up
believe you
behind my
actually
head and
printed
just
that out.
sit here until you were ready, and I was just gonna move, but
Oh my God, that's
my
actually ridiculous.
I don't have a good
Yeah, where's the
color
color
printer.
though?
What'd you say?
Where's the color?
I know the color is missing, and it's cut off like this much on either
Yeah,
side.
I feel like that's a trademark infringement.
I think so. It's kind of
It
like
doesn't follow brand guidelines.
they say when you like drop the flag on the floor, you're supposed to burn it. So I think I'm gonna have to burn this too. I
Oh, I've
actually
never actually heard that.
the American flag for sure, but you
Okay.
know how people are with the American flag.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to get some maple syrup. I was gonna have some Canadian maple syrup, but I only have
Okay.
knockoff junk from Walmart. So I tried. I figured the flag was pretty good,
Yeah,
but
I'm glad you didn't bring corn syrup to the table.
yeah, I couldn't bring that what is it called, swill? That swill.
Swill,
um,
I've actually never heard of that. Maybe that's the American maple syrup.
just like isn't that swill is like the word that people use for like um terrible like alcohol, like rum,
Oh,
bad rum,
oh, I
like
see. Yeah.
pirates, like swill. Yeah. But
Yeah.
dude, so give us a rundown of, you obviously I know you from the Oxygen community and your newsletter, which I love. So the super quick and dirty intro.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of most of it. I probably spend half my time just doing like freelance agency work. My agency is called NewPulse Studios. And then from there, I just wanted to talk about and like just have a place to share tutorials and just stuff I learned with all the tools that I was using. So then I started NewPulse Labs, which basically is a blog and a newsletter, and it gives me an excuse to spend time poking around with tools and not feel guilty about it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's super easy to get caught up in spending time on other things, especially when there's plenty of client work to be done.
Oh man, yeah, I know. I feel like a newsletter is almost bad for that because I'm like, it's fine that I just spent half a day testing this tool that I might one day use in the future, but at least I can talk about it now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, the with the newsletter, you just like come across cool stuff and you just share it. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, I usually just have like a Notion page, and then if I come across something cool, I save it there. Um, but it's not always super organized. Like sometimes I'll just go based on whatever I saw recently. Um, but yeah, it's been hard to keep it consistent. Like I love when you called it a couple weeks ago, like a little more irregular is this newsletter. Oh, like ah shit, he's right. But I feel like Fridays are like my best day for writing the newsletter because it's like, the end of the week, I'm done all the hard work usually, and I'm like, let's do a newsletter. But then sometimes there's like something that comes up, like this, for example, where
Mm-hmm.
like now the newsletter's getting pushed to later in the day, and then I'll start writing it, and then it's like 6 p.m. on a Friday, and I'm like, do I press send? Do I do this on Saturday? And then sometimes I'm just like, all right, next week, I'll get it next week.
I feel you on that consistency. It's super difficult, like whether it's a video or a blog post or whatever. Sometimes
Yeah,
I'll
it
go
is very
mul
difficult.
multiple
Because
weeks.
I think Kyle has sent out like a new, like every time I don't send out a newsletter, I see my inbox. I'm like, oh, Kyle, 7 a.m.
There
Like,
he is. Yep,
God
it's
damn
crazy.
it.
It's really crazy, and he's got to have it prepared early for all of his like Barfly members too. So it's like
Yeah.
he's like way on top of it. I don't know. There's
Yeah.
something.
When I saw he's had, I forget how many like barfly or I forget what it's called, like table meetings or whatever. He
Mm-hmm.
said it's like in the hundreds or something ridiculous like that. I'm like, man, if you have that consistency going, like, good on you.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually I'm in table, and the meeting that I just had this past week was his 500th meeting, which is just like,
Okay. Yeah. 500. I was like, no, that sounds way too ridiculous. Okay,
yeah. I think my group has
500.
done like 80 or something, so it feels
But
like a
dude,
lot.
500, does he do more than one a week?
Yeah, multiple, like four
Oh,
or five a
okay.
week, I think.
Dude, that's like a part-time job.
Yeah, it is. He makes money off it though, obviously, but
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So it is a part-time job. Yeah,
For
I see.
sure, for sure. I mean, the
Um,
for him and you, like I said, a couple weeks ago, your newsletter and his are pretty much the only ones that I pay attention to. So, if
that's
you're
nice.
not subscribed, there's a link to Sunny's website in the description. So check that
Yeah,
out.
you may get a newsletter at some point in the near future.
I love that. That should be your tagline. It's like you may get one, you may not.
Well, I remember when I signed up for your newsletter, it said like the most inconsistent newsletter on this side of the Mississippi. I
Yep.
don't think I've gotten a newsletter. Have you sent one? Like I think that was a year ago, and I
Oh
haven't
my
gotten
gosh, that's
anything.
hilarious. Yeah, it's like it's exactly the same thing. I just need to get better at the consistency, and then for me it's like, well, I published a video, people are going to see the video, then it's like, well, if I put it
Yeah.
in the Facebook group. But I've been thinking a lot about wanting to really like just like completely reset and like just scrub my email list, because there's a lot of people on there that are,
Mm,
people that purchased my Oxygen course, so we're interested in
yeah.
other things, and really start a clean slate, so then I can kind of build back up that consistency, because it's
Yeah.
like,
Or you could just send emails to everyone so you're not like starting from zero and then set up an automation where if someone doesn't open it for like 5 straight emails, you get rid of them.
yeah, I probably should do that. I'm using ConvertKit, so I'm sure it
Mm.
can
Yeah,
do
although
it
open rates
automatically.
are kind of weird these days because I think like Apple Mail or whatever, like the anti-privacy just like auto opens all the emails.
Yeah, that one, and then like Hey, I think blocks all the
Oh,
trackers and
really?
stuff. So it's like,
Mm.
are the numbers actually that accurate? I don't really know. But
Yeah,
for
I
me,
don't know.
I
I like
think
to say I have a 45% open rate. Like,
yeah, I mean
but I
that's
just thought last night, I'm like, maybe it's like 10%. Who knows?
but it could be more though too. If the trackers are
Yeah.
getting blocked, it definitely could be more. I'm sure you could see too from the people that click the links.
Yeah,
That's
that
another
is true. I could do that.
indicator.
Actually, just randomly, what are your thoughts on when people send newsletters twice, but they change the title? Like, so they send it to someone who doesn't open, and then they change the title, and then send it like 2 days later.
I don't know,
It's
because
something I've thought about doing, but I haven't because I don't like being annoying.
the
But
only
then
time
like
I've
I feel
ever
like I
done
should.
that was when Elijah and I launched Pi Calendar, and
Mm,
we sent the email to that list, and I just sent it to the people that didn't open it, because ConvertKit, there's just a one-click button, and
yeah,
it'll resend to the non-opens.
yeah,
And I mean, it worked. Like people clicked it and opened it. So I mean, I think it's not that big of a deal. I think typically when I get that kind of thing, it's like, well, I feel like they made a mistake in their audience, where like they accidentally sent the same thing twice. Like I was supposed to get the A test
yeah,
and not the B test, but I got both the A and the B.
right,
So
yeah,
I don't know. I was talking to Kyle about this recently, and it's like, it's interesting how when you just promote your own stuff, you get people to sign up and people buy stuff. It's like, what a
yeah.
strange
And people don't
concept.
care as much as you thought they would.
For real. Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, I have a bad tendency to be kind of nervous about like posting something. I don't want to be annoying, like you
Yeah,
said, or I don't want to
yeah,
be
me
like,
too.
I already posted it on YouTube and the Facebook group, so do I really want to send an email? And it's like, well, there's a
Yeah.
reason people do it. So
Yeah, like I have my newsletter and I was gonna share this in the newsletter and I didn't, partially because this is my first live stream. So I was like, let's see how it goes first before I send it to
see if
everyone.
it's terrible
I don't want
first.
like 100 unsubscribes, but yeah, I think actually Lewis from Oxygen one time sent me an email saying, you need to market your stuff better.
I
I
mean,
was like, he's like, post it in the Oxygen group, just do it. I'm like, yeah, I will. And then I don't want to be off topic or annoying.
I've got to say, to the credit of Lewis and Elijah for letting people like me and Kevin and you to grow out of the Oxygen Facebook community was
Oh yeah,
massive. I mean,
yeah,
that was a huge contributor to my early growth, and to some degree, it's kind of flatlined a little bit,
yeah.
because the Generate Facebook community is not really there relative to Bricks, and I don't know about Quickly, um, but yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. It's so simple. It's like you have to stay top of mind and constantly be in front of people. So um, yeah, I don't know. I think
Yeah,
that's
and then
really
there's like a
accurate.
lot more annoying people that I follow, and I still follow them for a reason. Like, even though sometimes they say the exact same thing every single time, I'm like, I like getting this information. Like, I need to like really drill this in, so I don't mind seeing the exact same tweet every single day.
Yeah, for sure. The consistency. Elijah had a comment I didn't read. It said, magical secret to
Oh yeah, there's
consistency
a
is to
chat.
batch creation and trickle content out over time. Harder with time
Mm,
sensitive or topical content though. Yeah, that's something it's been a long time since I've had a batch of videos ready to go.
yeah, yeah, that would be nice. I guess it is a little bit harder with a newsletter, but you could, yeah. I feel like you could mix in content that's like like email courses where you could do like a 10 email series on like how to use like the best plugins for WordPress, like those kind of topics. But
Yeah,
for a weekly newsletter where you got to be like on the news, it's a bit tougher.
definitely. Yeah, that's very very tough. And then also, I mean, another piece of it for you is, I was actually wondering, do you sell space in it? Like, do you have sponsors for it?
So I hadn't for the longest time, mostly because like I hadn't been approached, hadn't really approached anyone. And then my first ever sponsor was InstaWP, and that one was actually from Twitter. They're just like, anyone know any WordPress
I saw that
newsletters
thread.
we can
Yeah.
sponsor? I was like, hey, do me.
That's awesome. I actually I only saw that because you responded to it. So then
Oh,
it
really?
popped up in
Did you
my
respond
feed.
to it?
No, I
Oh,
should have.
you should. Yeah. You got the
I
most
don't.
inconsistent newsletter on this side.
The very first one just has a sponsor and nothing else.
Number one.
I guess I should tie it in. Like, I kind of thought what I would do with mine is tie it into this Friday thing, like doing the Friday streams, and then whatever comes out of that, having that be maybe the introduction part, and then sometimes these things take unexpected turns where you talk about different things, or like when I had Kevin on, that stream went for like 4 hours or something insane. There was so
Yeah.
much that we talked about. So there's that, and then just stuff you come across in the week. I think that's easy for us to forget, like the what we come across in the week kind of feels mundane for us, but might be helpful for somebody else. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like every time I see something on Facebook, if it gets shared to multiple groups, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to talk about this. Like everyone's already talked about it, but I'm
yeah,
sure there's people who don't spend all day in Facebook groups and
for
just
sure.
poking around.
Yeah, or stuff that, like, I was working on a little like document library for a client site that's just like a very simple ACF field and a post type that's not indexed or archived in any way. And I was like, that feels so simple because I can sit down and do that in 15 minutes, but that might be like revolutionary for someone, and that's something that it's hard to like step back and be like, this is
Yeah, I'd
easy
be
for
like,
me,
this is
but
helpful. Yeah,
yeah.
I understand everything. So
Not quite. I still get frustrated, and
yeah.
I go to my chat GPT buddy and holler at him for a while. Him or
Oh
her,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess.
sorry, I wasn't saying I understand everything. I just yeah, I mean like after you figure it out, you're like, oh yeah, this is a basic problem. Like
For sure. Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, so the topic of the stream this week is Cwicly, and shout out to Louis from Cwicly for hooking us up with an early access to his to the upcoming components release, and I'm pretty excited about that. Seems very interesting. I don't know that all that much about it, and to be honest, I barely use Cwicly. The last time I used Cwicly, I was sitting in a London train station waiting for a train when I was in Europe earlier this summer. And the internet there was absolutely terrible, so it was really tough to use because it was like a InstaWP, I think, install. So it was like web based, and it was really tough.
yeah.
So with Cwicly, you have built a number of sites in it, including your own. And I was curious, what is it kind of like your builder of choice, if you will? And was that your jump straight from Oxygen? Did you go from Oxygen to Cwicly?
No, there was no straight jump.
Okay.
I think from Oxygen, I initially, well, I still used Oxygen. Like it was still like nothing changed the day that Breakdance got announced.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Oxygen was still my builder of choice. I know there was like a big uproar about it.
Huh. I wonder who might have contributed to that.
Yeah, I don't know, some guy on YouTube. I think he might have had shorter hair back then.
Some
Probably,
D-bag.
I would guess so.
Yeah, for sure. It's probably like right here.
Yeah, but then I guess after everyone started looking at other alternatives, I was like, well, I do this anyway, so I might as well just poke around. And then I think the first one that I came across was Zion Builder. Actually, Zion Builder I had looked at previously because it always felt like a good alternative. It was almost exactly like Oxygen, but more modern, I guess. Like everything was a little more fluid, and it had like the nicer UI, and
Yeah.
it had like a nicer design library and all that stuff. So I think my first jump was to Zion Builder because David Brown, like Oxy Extras guy, he started building Zion Extras as well.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, I guess this is where people are going. Um, but then no one ended up going there.
Sorry,
And
there's
I think they had like a lifetime deal too. And then when no one went there, I was like, oh, I don't think this is it.
there's as I say so many times in the stream, I live in Florida, and there's a horrible rainstorm outside right now. And for some reason, these rainstorms cause my power to flash for like half a second, and it's enough to kill everything in my house. I don't have a UPS because I'm an idiot.
Oh.
So I need to, in
You're a
case I
professional live
disappear,
streamer, man. Get
I
the
know, I'm
UPS.
terrible streamer. So if it disappears, we'll come back. I know we'll be back before too long. So just to throw that out there. But so Zion Builder, I'm only familiar with because the other YouTube guy who made Oxygen content for a long time was Stratos. You remember him, or
Yeah.
do you know him?
Oh, yeah.
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 He's not really, I don't think he's on Facebook. So the only place that I
Mm.
have connected with him is through YouTube and email, but he covered that. And so I would kind of, scrub through his videos on that.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
might have seen those actually.
yeah. He covered those for quite a while before, breakdance came out. Um, so that was really my only exposure to Zion. So then you saw people weren't really going towards that. And then what came after?
Well, and then everyone went to bricks, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then so that's basically where I was heading as well. Like I think bricks is it's an amazing builder. So I had thought that like, okay, I'll start using bricks on all my future projects. And like I don't like I'm not one to rebuild any oxygen sites. Like I
Hmm.
still have plenty of sites that use oxygen, and there's literally no reason to rebuild it
No.
unless like so I ended up rebuilding NewPulse Labs with Cwicly just because I'm in there like every day and I know like there's a lot of stuff I need to do. Like posts are very important to my site. It's not like a five page static brochure site. So I
Hmm.
wanted to kind of like move towards WordPress full site editing and have like my post style, like my back end of my post look exactly like the front end. And that was important to me because I didn't want just like a block of text and have it not look like it does on the front end. So initially my plan was to go to bricks. Um, and then I didn't end up doing that. Well, so I posted something on their forum about like making bricks a plugin first versus a theme first. Because one of my concerns, and this was the case with Oxygen as well, is once you start building a ton of pages with a builder, if it's a theme or something like Oxygen, once you disable it, everything is gone. And I think that's actually a huge disadvantage compared to something like Elementor even, which like I'm not a huge fan of Elementor, but I've used it on multiple client sites just because you can install it, build landing pages, and like if you don't want to use it again, you don't have to, but at least you can keep your pages up and
Hmm.
switch to whatever builder you want. But I got roasted on the Bricks forum,
Really?
being like, if Bricks is a plugin, I'm out. Like, this is not for me. And I'm like, okay, okay. Not by the Bricks founders. Like, Thomas is awesome. Um, but that was like a pretty big concern for me. And then I came across Cwicly. I think someone had actually messaged me about it. And then I saw Paul's video on like the query builder. And I'm like, oh, this is more than just like an AppSumo website builder.
Yeah, yeah.
um, and then I saw that it was like a Gutenberg, like based on Gutenberg. And then I tried it out and I'm like, yeah, this is shockingly good. It was like a pretty much ready Oxygen alternative.
Yeah, definitely. That's a big reason why I've been advocating and using Generate Press and Generate Blocks so much is that the so much of it like you could move away from those and your content still
Yeah.
is at least reasonably consistent to what it was. Um, like with something like WP Bakery, in the long time ago, that it's like if you disabled that, it was a complete disaster and you had just
Oh yeah.
stuff all over the place.
Short
But
codes everywhere.
yeah, but like with these Gutenberg builders, it's really just like some JSON headers in some HTML,
Yeah.
so it's like at least reasonably uh, safe to
Yeah.
assume that your stuff will be usable.
Yeah. And I know it's not like the best case scenario to have multiple builders on your site,
Of
but
course.
especially when they can kind of like contain themselves, like that was important with me with Cwicly as well, is you can turn off like all the UI features. And Louis had talked about like removing lock-in as well, where maybe one day down the road you can disable the Cwicly plugin and there will be some kind of like helper plugin that converts all the CSS into inline CSS, so you could actually disable the plugin and still have your actual like HTML and CSS.
Interesting.
So when I heard he was thinking about that, I'm like, that's actually sweet because uh, like I usually try to avoid using builders within blog posts as well because I don't want to go back through like 100 posts and remove elements. But
Definitely.
the more I don't have to worry about like 10 years down the line, who knows what the big tool is. It could be Cwicly, it could be something else. I don't want to have to think about like, well, crap, now I have to go through all my posts and delete everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the more I don't think about that, the more I'm actually willing to use the tool.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, that was a sort of inadvertent blessing that all of my posts on my site when I switched it from Oxygen to Generate it was totally usable because it was all just classic editor at the
Yeah.
time. So it just obviously dumped right over. But
Yeah, true.
even with the Gutenberg components, that'll migrate really easily no matter what the builder is. So with the components feature of Cwicly that's coming, we of course, like I mentioned earlier, have a very generously extended kind of beta version of this. This is like not public ready yet. So we may encounter some bugs and stuff, but
We will encounter bugs.
we will. Yeah.
Disclaimer, we will encounter bugs. This is
So
a pre-beta release.
this to make sure I understand, this is components in the sense of like the, let's say you could design a card and it has specific styling of box shadow and border radius and stuff like that, but you can actually change the content, but they're still connected in the sense that you go change your kind of master card, if you will, and all of those update across the site regardless of what content they have. Is that the case?
Yeah, exactly. So also, I haven't ever used this either. Like, again, we just got it like 20 minutes ago. And I've only seen it from the Cwicly live streams. So I haven't like actually played around with it. I've only seen it. But yeah, my understanding is that it works if you use components in Figma. It's kind of the same way where you componentize all your like main UI elements that you plan to reuse. And then from there, you can change text and you can always go back to the component and like change the structure of it.
That's so cool, because that's the reason why custom blocks have been so interesting to
Yeah,
me. Like
exactly.
Taylor Drayson has been such a big advocate of that. Like everything he does is a custom block. But for that reason, that's why it's interesting. Is like you can allow the client or yourself to change the content, but then it's like, you know, if you wanted to go change every like left image, right text, and just reverse it, you could do it in one spot and it reflects across the site, which is really cool.
Yeah, or one thing I always think about is like making sure I have a class on everything, even though I don't necessarily need a class. Because I'm like, well, one day if I need to like change this pre-heading to a different color, like I want to make sure I can, and I don't want to go to every single element. So now you could actually, like, it doesn't really matter if you put all the proper classes because you can just go back to the main component and add it.
That's pretty dope. So should we?
There's actually one other, sorry to cut you off. There's actually one other benefit I was thinking of. And you know how like a lot of people, when they manage content with clients, it's kind of like separating design from content. So you have like your template, and then you have a lot of people do like ACF fields where the client goes in and literally just types in fields.
Yeah.
Like obviously that's great for like long-term sustainability of like keeping the site looking a certain way. But I think, but there's like the downside of the client like not even seeing what they're changing, or like let's say you're the client and you're working on your own site. It kind of sucks to be typing in ACF fields.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
So I think components actually really help with that, because now you're not worried about like touching layout or like, you know, moving different things around. You just have one source of truth, and then you're basically changing the ACF fields, but inside the actual design.
That's really cool. That's something that I think people like developers, you know, heavy like Bricks users and Oxygen users are like, people let themselves get way too close to ACF in that sense, where it's like ACF is the way, the truth, and the light. You know, there's nothing better. But it's like when you step back or when you encounter a situation where, like, I often have sites that are big enough. There's like a marketing director or somebody reasonably technical coming behind me, and it's like they add a few sections to like an ACF flexible content field, or, you know, a repeater, and then it's like there's this giant mess of stuff and you can't really see it, and reorganizing it is extremely difficult. So it's like that is a huge downside. And what you're talking about with these components is such a great way to do it. And that's kind of like the halfway happy medium I found with Generate, was like, well, I can let people go into this system because it's so easy and it's so similar to what they're actually going to see on the front end, that you can rearrange these blocks. Like a big example of this is I had a client project last year, and they had these, it was like a services CPT, and they had a shit ton of them, but there was like shit ton of posts, I should say. And each one had exactly the same types of content, but depending on what service it was, they were changed, you know, order. So like it might be hero and then like a 3-column card, and then a, you know, let's say just like a CTA. The next one might be like CTA hero 3-column card. And it was the exact same kind of thing, but you needed to reorganize it. So you couldn't just slap in like an Oxygen template. I had to go make flexible content fields and then hand code all of those. Then you come back 6 months later after they've been editing it, and it's like, holy crap, this is terrible. This just looks awful. How does anybody operate with this? So I think when you take a step back from ACF, it's like there is a better way. So it's components I'm definitely excited about.
Yeah, and I found that like with some clients that are a bit more technical, like they're not like your local plumber, like they know what they're doing. I find that like I'll hand off a final design and the site, like the layout is different a few months later, because they want to change things around, they're testing things, and it's not just like, okay, this is the layout, let's text fields and just input content, like they need to be able to play a little bit. So I think, yeah, I think components will give them like a way to do that without the potential breaking things, but still maintains that freedom.
Without detonating the entire site.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin in chat says components is the single most important feature missing from Oxygen and Bricks and all other page builders not named Webflow and Cwicly. Yeah, I'm excited to kind of take a stab at this. Max, I hope that the modular component-based development approach will also be widely adopted by WordPress builders, enhancing efficiency and dynamicism. That's a good word, dynamicism. Is that a word?
Well, that one says diamond. I can't even say that. Oh, sorry, it does say dynamism.
Dynamicism. Oh,
Dyn-
learn something new every day.
Is it a word?
I don't know.
Oh, I'll look it up just because I need to know this now.
I hope so. Probably is.
Yeah, it is actually.
Oh, thanks, Max.
The quality of being characterized by vigorous activity and progress.
He says, I'm from Germany. He has better English than both of us. as is the case. It's like you're in like the Netherlands or Germany and you're like, do you speak English? And they're like, a little bit. And then
Yeah,
just
and then they're
better
just
English
like
than you do.
eloquent.
Yeah. Pronounced dynamism.
Dynamism.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Dynamicism. I like it. You want to go ahead and hop in to Cwicly, and I guess I'll steer and you'll kind of direct me. Is that what you're thinking?
Sure. Yeah. I'll need to figure out how I can see your screen.
Let me see if I can screen share on our side. Let me switch over quickly to this screen share. So I got us situated. Let me screen share in Zoom and see if you can see this. Where is it? Oh, well, it takes away our cameras. That's whack.
On OBS?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So like everybody else can't see it. You can see my screen though, right?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
I don't think either of us are attractive looking enough to justify having
Hey.
Just kidding, dude. You are.
I was gonna make the same joke.
Hey, Bryn's in the chat. What's up, dude? He bought Cwicly Ltd, but hasn't spent more than 15 minutes with it. Maybe I should look at it. Pinegrow is the most impressive WP builder I've come across. Yeah, I think Pinegrow is very interesting too.
Yeah.
All right, so I have Cwicly installed, and I've done absolutely nothing with it. So I really wish that we could see each other. I think
like on the live stream or in Zoom?
Well, a bit of both, I guess.
I can still see you in Zoom, actually.
Okay. Well, I wish that everybody else could see us. Whatever. That's okay. Let's just keep going. So we obviously have Cwicly here with nothing in it. So for us to kind of demonstrate what we're talking about, I guess I'm just going to let you steer me.
It'd actually be fun if you steered yourself.
Just kind of poke around and see if I can
just see how you would go about it. Because I feel like I've used Cwicly so much now that I like fully understand where things are, but it's interesting to see how new users use it. And I think that'd probably be helpful for the Cwicly team as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like Bryn said, I've used this for about maybe all together 45 minutes, maybe an hour in total.
Nice.
So I think if my goal as I'm coming into this is to explore components, then what I'm going to do is come to Themer, and then I guess I'm going to go custom, and I'll just call this template test. I don't feel like it's a template, so maybe that's wrong. Oh,
yeah. I mean, you could just make a page that doesn't have like basically it'd be a blank template, right?
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, I think in that sense, the theming is pretty similar to Oxygen, where you don't templates are templates.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense. So then I was a little confused about what just happened. I just clicked add new and it just brought me straight into the builder, brand new page.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is a
Gutenberg sidebar.
Yeah, this is a new page in Gutenberg.
I see.
This is just the Cwicly UI overlaid on top.
Got it. Okay. It's essentially the same thing as generate, but it's just like this black theme on the left.
Yeah, yeah, you can change the color mode of it as well, but
Okay.
I usually go with dark mode.
So can I just add in a Cwicly div?
Yeah.
All right. So then if I wanted like another div to do like a 3-column situation, I guess would I want to give these a class? Probably so. I'm just going to call this card. Kevin's screaming at his monitor right now. So we'll just duplicate this a couple of times. So like I said, my goal here is really to just build like a 3-card layout and componentize it. Hopefully Max knows the proper phrasing for that word. And then just see how it
Yeah, just use
works.
some dynamism.
Dynamism, yeah.
I think I totally just butchered that.
So flex and grid controls built in. That's pretty cool. So I guess I would give our wrapper. I'm just gonna. I guess I don't really need a class like you said though on the wrapper, because if it's a component, you'll have one place to edit it. Still,
Yeah. Well, yeah, probably the wrapper. I would like you'd still probably use a class on the wrapper. Like I feel like I would only make the card a component and not the actual layout of the cards.
okay. You wait, sorry, say that again. You'd set the
Like I would make each card a component, but I don't know if it would make sense to have the card layout a component.
yeah, okay. All right, well then I actually don't have much. Oh, what did I just click? I clicked the plus with the hope of adding an image to it. That was a little bit strange.
So that's actually pretty interesting. That little plus that you're clicking on, that is actually a Cwicly feature. It's called their Smart Inserter or Quick Inserter. I can't remember what it's called, but if you click the plus button, it gives you like a few Cwicly elements that you can put in there, and that goes inside the div.
Okay.
And if you do like the arrow up or arrow down, you can insert those elements either above or below it. So it's just like a faster way of adding elements.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's also, if you want to add elements, there's also the bar on the very left where you can add like sections or divs or headings.
Okay.
And you can add whatever Gutenberg element you want to that, which is pretty cool.
Sweet. So if I want an image inside of this div, I'm going to go plus and then image to the right.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay. I see. That's pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
Because it can be a little annoying to add the correct image block in generate, because there's, the core one, which obviously you can disable, but sometimes you're just like, I don't want the damn core block. Like, give me the give me the generate one.
Yeah, there's actually a setting too where you can switch, like when you add a new paragraph, you can switch it from default core to Cwicly paragraphs. But I don't have that on just because in blog posts, like I want to use core paragraphs, not Cwicly ones. So
me too. Yep. I still just use the default headings and paragraphs, because I assume Cwicly is a theme, right?
you don't even need to use the theme. You can use like other Gutenberg themes if you want. Cwicly just kind of plugs in, which is nice, but there is like a bare bones theme.
I was wondering because like the reason why I can get away with using the core paragraph and heading blocks in generate is the global styles are just handling all that, so it matches even if I use the generate heading or text.
Yeah, so in that case, like Cwicly has global styles just built into the plugin. So if you'd want to change like all your typography, you just do it through the global styles. Like it's not attached to the theme necessarily.
Okay, cool. So we'll just add some short text in there. And then I guess we would have a button. Is this the Cwicly button? This one right here?
Yeah, anything with that little icon will be a Cwicly one.
Okay. So it's just like raw unstyled. Let's just say click me.
Yeah, it's literally all like no styling applied other than like basic, like for images or for sections. There's like a couple CSS properties, but that's about it.
It's really interesting because I like generate has some defaults when you for everything. And when I came from Oxygen, I was like, man, this is kind of annoying. I don't want this. But now being back here, I'm like, I actually don't like this as much. I wish there was at least a little bit of something to go off of, but I don't know. I guess if you're using a product like Bricks or Cwicly, maybe you don't want that.
Yeah, because I guess then you're spending time. I think Kevin said this in a recent video. Like, was it Kevin? I can't remember, but you don't want to be undoing things that your builder does.
Yeah, I mean, I
Um,
think that's fair. That's why like you're gonna take the time to use the global settings from generate to kind of override it, I guess, or set what you want as the defaults.
yeah, like I think if you're a new user and you're building website, like you're not building websites often, I think it's obviously very helpful just to have like buttons already pre-styled and I guess whatever, like maybe better typography. But um, when you're like building a custom design, like why would you want to use a preset style?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
But do you end up using the styles from Generate Press?
No, just
Like,
in
do
the
you just
starter
keep the
site.
default button? Oh, okay.
No. In my starter site, I just have like the global styles configured, and then I just go swap the global colors and the fonts, and it's pretty much set. That's something that I think is like something I've spent a lot of time with. Is actually, I wonder if I can, when we're not showing something on screen, I wonder if we can switch back. I guess if I just stop screen sharing real quick, is Zoom just gonna whack out? Yeah, cool. Okay, so it just doesn't go back to what I had configured. That's great.
Hmm.
Thanks. Pro Streamer moves over here. Uh, brutal. How does it just not go back to what I had set? That's so
Is
frustrating.
that in
Sorry.
OBS?
I think it's a Zoom thing, and then like it just like doesn't pick back up the fact that it's not screen sharing anymore. Whatever. Okay. I lost my train of thought because I was thinking about this, trying to like go back to our faces when we're like having a discussion on this. Let me go back to my screen real quick and think what I was gonna say. I guess that's it. I don't know. Forgive me. Anyway, all right. Well, let me just reshare for you real quick. That's so frustrating. I guess I'm gonna have to actually invest in a proper piece of software instead of this hot garbage. Okay. So I guess what I want to do now is I don't really care a whole lot about the actual styling for this example. Just
Yeah, for sure.
turning this into a component.
If this was WordPress version 7, we could just work on the same page at the same time.
That would be dope.
Yeah, that would be dope.
I mean, you could also screen share too, I'm sure. It's all good though. So let's just say we have this card and we want to turn this into a component. So let me see. Because you want me to do this without prompting, right?
Yeah, I can kind of like guide you along if you get stuck, but it's interesting to see how you go about things. But I'd say you're going about everything pretty normally.
I want to turn this into a component. Create component. Okay. So that little icon is the only way to get to that in right click.
um, so I've actually never used this, but that might be it. There's also that component icon in the top left. I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
if that
Okay.
creates components or that is just I think it's just your library of components.
Got it. Yep.
Yeah, so it sounds like, or looks like the right click. Again, like this might not even be the final UI, but
Probably
at least
not.
for now, it looks like.
Because I would imagine that with the other options you have in this, well, these are some,
Yeah,
these are mostly
those
default.
are default. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it'll go in this bar somewhere
Yeah,
like right
true,
here.
maybe. Or maybe it's better hidden because how often are you creating components? I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe at the start of a project and that's it. So we'll call this one card. So now we have this, and in the editor, it's no longer clickable. So we go to our component. It says component inserted.
Yeah, so I think it's already on the page, so you wouldn't have to do it there.
I was just
Or
wondering
are you
about,
trying to add more actually?
well, either that or just edit it.
Yeah, okay, let's add more. So why don't you delete those two divs? The two, yeah.
Okay.
And then maybe click on the card there, and that should insert a couple more.
Oh, it says block cannot be
Oh,
rendered inside itself. That might
oh, that's
be
interesting.
that might be a little like,
Yeah, we'll call that one a bug.
yeah, that seems like it. So all I have to do is
So
just select the parent div and then it
yeah,
works.
okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because yeah, the Cwicly Navigator, when you're selecting an item, it'll insert whatever inside of it
Okay.
versus under it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's set this to flex real quick. Oh, it doesn't like this. I wonder
Is
why.
that? I wonder if you just save and refresh if it would go away.
Yeah. Let's do that. Uh-oh. Let's restart. We'll just refresh this.
So yeah, in case anyone missed it at the beginning, this is a pre-beta release, and Louis said there will be things that don't work properly.
Yeah. Okay, so now we got the div. Let's go back to our component. Oh, there's like a double card. I wonder how I did that.
Oh shoot, because you know what happened? You hit publish before refreshing, and that saved the new component. Because we added the cards into the cards, and then we hit save.
I'm just gonna wipe it out entirely and just go again.
Yeah, let's just speed run this.
Div. Image. Oh gosh. / image. Cwicly image, and then / is it text? Oh no, paragraph. There it is.
Just paragraph, yeah.
Add some text, and then we're gonna go / button. I'll just use that button, the core button, so there's like something that looks a little bit more like a button.
Yeah, you just won't be able to change component-y stuff about it, but yeah.
What do you mean?
You won't have like component controls because it's a core block, not a Cwicly block.
Okay, well, we can test that. That seems fine. So we'll turn this one into a component. I'm gonna give this a different name just for the sake of safety. Yeah. We'll call this one card 2. Okay, so now we have that. So then I'm just gonna save this, and then I'm gonna refresh one more time just to be sure. Okay. So now what I should be able to do is click my parent div, go back to my components. I could add this card in 3 times, or 2 more times for a total of 3. Here's our flex. And then let's just give this a gap. All right, cool. Max says, is this the Cwicly beta with upcoming components? Yes, this is it.
The pre-beta.
Yeah, pre-beta for sure. So now, if I wanted to edit one of these cards, like let's say I just want to give them like a gap.
Yeah.
Because obviously our stuff is touching. So let's just say we want to give this a gap. Modify. Customize versus modify, what's the difference? Is modify like almost as though you're inline editing?
Yeah, so go back to customize. Okay, so I think here would show the properties we could change, but since we haven't set any properties, all we can do is modify it right now.
So if I had given it like a gap or whatever, it would show up there?
Yeah. So based on what I've seen, styles we probably don't want to touch right now. You can basically have like different versions of components too. So we could do like a dark version that has completely different classes than like a light version. So it's kind of like a Figma variant.
Okay.
But we would want to do properties.
Oh, okay.
And then I think the one that would make most sense would be text at the beginning.
Okay.
Name, description. So basically, I think we should try to replace the main text in the card as like yeah. So default, that could just be whatever, yeah.
Okay. So then I just close this?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah, it looks like it's there. So then we'll want to select the text. Oh, that's not a Cwicly paragraph.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
I thought you added a Cwicly paragraph. That's weird.
I thought I did too. I used the text expander shortcut to give me this placeholder text, so it swapped it back to
maybe,
core paragraph. That's why. So can I, like, surely you're going to want to come back and modify the elements inside of your card from time to time. Like,
yeah, which you can do from anywhere. Like if you just click modify, you're now inside the component.
Okay, so then if I was just like, let's just change this back to a paragraph, and I'm just going to type some text, hello world, to make sure it's a Cwicly component. And then can we give this a color just to test with?
Yeah, so, well, the first thing we want to do probably is hook it up to our description that we just made.
Okay.
So if you go back to that component, like right above your mouse to the left is like a component tab. And then if you click on that, I think now we can click on description. like that property that we just made.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so now it's using our default text.
Yeah, okay, okay.
So
So then,
then I guess what would be the next test would be to leave editing the component. So if you click maybe somewhere else on the page, I think that leaves it. Yeah, so now we're just back on customize. So now try changing hello world on, yeah, any of them.
cool. All right, so then, uh, all right. So now we got unique text in each of these.
Yeah.
So at this point, what I want to do is just add like some gap between this stuff. So should I have done that from the beginning?
No, you can, it's still modifiable now. Like if you just go to modify, now you're back to creating the component.
Okay.
So here you would add some gap.
Uh, cool. So then I can just leave it again.
Yeah, and see how it update all the different cards, even though we didn't even use a class for any of them.
That's very cool. Okay.
Yeah. And you could do things like move the button like above the text or add like a whole new element to the card. And then I know you'll also be able to do like conditional visibility as well. So you could add like maybe there's some kind of pricing on certain cards. So
Yeah.
you could say like if it has a price, then show the price, but if not, don't.
And then because of this modification feature, I could put another component inside of this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I will Go
like your
ahead.
button would probably be a component as well, right?
I would think so. Yeah. So Kevin's comment in the chat says styling isn't really the important part. Styling is already componentized by CSS, HTML, PHP, JS being linked or independent is the important part. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so what he's saying is like you could like if you just added a class to that card, you could change the gap before without components anytime you ever wanted to.
Yeah.
But now like let's add like a icon above the text.
Is there like an icon block? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So see now it changed the HTML for all the different cards
Yep. Okay.
without having to go through all the cards and adding that stuff.
Yeah. Really, the only time that that's not a gigantic pain in the ass is like in a query loop.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Elijah says this feels a lot like making your own elements for a builder. Sans writing the code reminds me of Breakdance's Element Studio. I mean, I
That'd be
think
true,
that's
except well, yeah, I guess you could do that, but then you couldn't have like multiple versions of a card. Like you could create a card element in Breakdance, but then if you wanted like different variations of the card, I don't think you could have it stay consistent. Like you kind of just created like a custom card structure, but you can't like modify it without creating a new element in your builder.
yeah, because if you wanted card light and card dark, that would be two separate components in like Breakdance,
Yeah.
whereas this could be one.
Yeah, exactly. It's one component just modified.
That's pretty dope. So, trying to think about what other cool use cases for this you might encounter. I mean, I think this is like this could be useful for entire sections rather than just like a
Yeah,
simple
like
card.
yeah.
So I guess the the other thing I'm curious about is like I don't have images on this site, which is kind of an oversight, but you would be able to independently
You
send
want
me
me to upload some
images.
images?
Yeah.
Just do some
Let's
magic behind the scenes.
yeah. I hope oh, there's no add plugin button. Um let
Oh,
me
damn.
duplicate this. I'll just bring this window over here real quick and I'll find some images on my computer that I can pop in real quick.
Oh, I'll add some.
Can you get in here?
Yeah, I'm in. Wait. Yeah. Actually, no. I'm in a different install. Never
Oh.
mind.
I just got 3 images off my computer from Pexels. So we'll just use these. Okay, so then I'm curious about, this is like hurting my brain thinking about how this works. So I have to click this outer component
Mm-hmm.
and then modify it, right? Or do I need to
Mm-hmm.
create a property?
Can you do that? Because you're in modify now. So yeah, you would, if you go back to customize, I don't think, yeah, so you can't create a, basically when you're in customize, all you can do is change what's available to you.
Okay.
But then when you go to modify, that's when you're adding all the properties, changing the structure, adding elements, that kind of stuff.
So we would go property is an image, and then
Yeah.
we would just say like card image.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So then I would come back to customize. Oh wait, I didn't attach it, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
What did I forget
So
here?
now we'd click on the image and then
Oh,
see, so I guess everything's indicated by that like teal little icon.
I see.
So see where it says source and it has a teal icon?
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
right
guessing
here.
it's, yeah, I'm guessing.
Is that the same button as right here? Because I clicked this one. So then is this the same thing?
I feel like this would attach it. Yeah, see, there you go.
Oh, it already detects what it should be because it's an image source.
Yeah. What happened when you click the icon above this, like by the class? Oh,
Brings
okay,
up
so it is the same thing.
this
Or,
little dialogue. It's just more clicks for the same thing.
I think maybe that one just shows all the properties available and maybe source shows the relevant ones.
Yeah, because you can't do anything with this. Even though I clicked it, there's no like
Yeah, okay.
apply or save. Okay. Well, that's fine. Because if it auto detects it and I just click it like that, that's great.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So then now I could come back to the card image set, and then we'll just pop in one. Cool. There we go. Right?
Yeah. So now you have a custom image for that card.
Cwicly in chat says that would be for connected classes. I guess that's what, where was I?
Mm.
This bit,
like
connected classes. Okay. That's what this would have been for. Interesting.
Connected classes. Huh.
What would be a use case for connected classes?
That one I'm not sure how that works. Connected classes.
Yeah, I don't know. Not sure. That's okay though, because I mean, really now, like the crux of what I wanted to do is now set. So like on each of these, I can set an independent element. Classes applied on that entity on that block only.
Oh, okay, I get it now. So you could add your own classes to a component without it being on the main component.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
Just
that'd be
like
kind of cool,
content and
actually,
images.
because then you can, yeah, then that's like ultimate customization.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Cool. That's neat. So really like the, oh, also I didn't even notice there's this URL stuff with dynamic controls. So for the image setting, like the, link to post or whatever, maybe.
Yeah.
Static or dynamic. ACF, baby.
Oh yeah.
Set that. I actually forgot that Cwicly comes with ACF. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's actually pretty crazy if you think about it, especially now that ACF isn't lifetime. Like I feel like that's a pretty good deal.
I actually went to emailed ACF support a few years ago before they sold, and I was like, "Hey, do you guys have any kind of like, coupon code or like any way to extend the lifetime deal?" And I was like, "I have this audience, and I want to promote this and do it as a limited time thing." And they were just like, "Nope." Like,
oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, so you don't have the lifetime deal?
No, I do, but I wanted to like extend it for like a course, and they were just like, "Nope."
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Can't do that. So
See, you know what's actually kind of funny? ACF Pro for one website is $49 a year. Cwicly for 3 websites, it's 49 euros a year.
So you should almost
so you can get ACF for cheaper by buying Cwicly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Well, so there's a good number of people watching. I'm curious, what do all of you think about this? There's been some good chatter on the side as me and Sunny have been going through this. I think this stuff is pretty cool. Let's see. Elijah says, this does seem cool, but I doubt 90% of page builder users have the proper mental model needed to use it effectively. Education problem, hard solve IMO. Maybe you can
Mm.
do it, Kevin. Yeah, I mean, if Kevin wants to advocate for this, definitely. I think the thing about this for me is that it's very intriguing because it's like custom Gutenberg blocks. It's very
Yeah.
similar, except you have a UI for it rather than like with custom blocks and the stuff that Taylor builds. You have to know every facet of the PHP and the CSS and the HTML. Like you have to know all of that and understand how Block Studio works with JSON and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and when you want to change one, you have to exit the page, go to the block, change the block, go back to the page, and make sure it all looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this,
Yep.
you can kind of like change your component literally anywhere on the site, which is pretty cool.
Exactly. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where you have that disconnect between the back end and the front end. You know, like what you're seeing to some degree. I mean, with the block, you have like at least a visual representation if you're in the builder. But yeah, if you want to go change the code, you have to go to the code editor, save it, upload, refresh, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Cwicly says the goal is to have component libraries also. That'd be great. That would be really great. Anything else you want
Yeah.
to take a look at here? Any other ideas?
Um, let's look at what the different properties are. Like the card seems like the most obvious use case, but I guess I'm trying to figure out like what I would use as a component in Figma. And it is kind of just like the base like navigation, buttons,
Mm-hmm.
like avatar section. Yeah. So I don't think I'd do it like a full section, but maybe, yeah, I don't know. That one kind of hurts my brain to think about.
I think the thing that comes to mind for me would be the
Yeah,
like
call to actions.
yeah. I mean that's a good one. I was gonna say like for what I was describing earlier about like the single posts and stuff for like CPTs where
Mm,
you want to be
yeah.
building content inside of it and you could let somebody add the I guess CTA we already said, but like the hero section, but change the title and the text and the button kind of link or whatever. Um, you could build entire landing pages with this and let like a
Yeah. Would
marketer.
that make sense? Like, would you want to build a hero section as a component? Or would you just want to build it as a normal hero section? I guess it depends how much you want to lock things down.
It depends because I mean, if you want, if like you have a page title section and it's got a unique image, title, and description, like obviously you could do that with dynamic data, featured image, and like an ACF field or whatever. But if they're
Yeah.
already going to be in Quickly,
Yeah.
and
I guess if you're working with clients and you want to simplify things, I actually probably would just make it maybe every section a component because then it's just like very easy for them to like it's basically like ACF fields on the right side there. And well, you don't even have to use that right panel. You can just replace text.
yeah,
Actually, this is kind of like the Oxygen Gutenberg integration,
but better.
but actually Gutenberg.
I mean, that's one thing that I felt like was a missed opportunity was the Oxygen Gutenberg integration. I felt like designing Gutenberg blocks in Oxygen was so badass, but then the
Yeah.
lack of transference from the block back into the Oxygen, I guess block, if you will, was where it fell down. And I know Elijah's talked about it before. He said that Gutenberg changes so fast it was unrealistic for them to like invest the time in it, but
Yeah.
that would have been a pretty insane use case, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it still could be like if you think about the future of Oxygen and how it could like stay relevant going into the future, like I think if they did nothing, it would still be a popular builder. Like I don't even want to know the use stats on WP Bakery, but I bet you it's still more than like Quickly and Bricks and Breakdance combined. Um,
For sure.
but like I feel like if Oxygen wanted to like stay relevant, it could just revisit that integration now that things are a little bit more stable.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I would love to know the numbers on that kind of thing. Um,
Yeah, because if you could like insert Gutenberg elements inside of your Oxygen designs, like when you converted everything over, you couldn't actually add anything to it. You could only like change text. It was like a client mode.
mhm.
But if you could like add Gutenberg elements, then that at least kind of be like more relevant to Gutenberg.
Let's see. I was just gonna do some testing here. So if I go, Is there an indicator that it's a Cwicly component? Like,
In that
or component's the wrong word. I should say, is there an indicator that
element,
I'm using a Cwicly element?
this one I know you are because you can see on the right side in the sidebar, like those are quickly settings.
Oh, okay. But if it's a
If you
core,
just have a default one, it's just going to say like paragraph and change. The core blocks annoy me sometimes. Like with a paragraph element, you can't change the line height. You can change everything else but the line height. It bothers me.
yeah, that stuff is kind of insane. That doesn't make any sense. Um, I just wanted to add a couple of things in here, like you might for a
Yeah, hero section.
yeah. Let's make this actually look like a button. I'm just gonna inline style it. Well, let's just make it like, I don't know. We'll go some color like that, and then okay, trying to find the padding controls. Let's just go one rim all the way around, and then did I not
Oh,
do?
you
Oh, I
want to
did
see
the
another
like.
cool quickly feature?
Sure.
Uh, Go to padding. Let's say you wanted an 18 pixel padding, but in rem.
Yeah.
You can go 18 and then type in TREM.
Ooh, that's cool.
Isn't that sick?
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, that's like, because everything in Figma, at least till recently, was all pixels. So every
Yeah.
time I was like, okay, 56 divided by 7, like, it's brutal.
Yeah, for
I think I
sure.
know all the multiples of 16 now, including 18 and 19 pixel. Like,
That's pretty awesome. You don't have to memorize that or whip out your
yeah.
calculator or change to 62.5.
Well, I did that, but I ran into problems. Like, you find like little UI things that like read that, and then like my checkboxes were a little bit too small, or like I wanted to use the Tailwind. I have like my own utility framework thing that's like based off Tailwind, and then some of those sizes just didn't match up. I just reverted to 100% and left it as natural.
Yeah. So then do I have to set this as like a flex or something? So
Okay,
that,
so this is something I feel like Cwicly should implement as like a starter class. Basically, you have to set your button to inline flex for it to not be full width,
yeah.
or you can change the wrapper to be flex start. Um,
Yep.
do you want me to help you with that one?
Well, I set it to flex and flex start, right? So then
Well, that's the button, so that's only going to affect what's inside. Or sorry, you set it to flex, but that's still going to be the full width. If you set it to inline flex, it wouldn't be full width.
oh, I see. Okay. Interesting. I feel like it should just be inline flex out of the gate,
As a
or
default, yeah.
yeah, or I mean even just block, like, or in. I don't know. I just that doesn't
Yeah,
feel
or
right.
block, yeah. Yeah, I
Well,
agree. That's one thing I think they should switch.
in any case, one thing that I didn't really like was I saw this panel right here and I was like, hey, cool. There's some like default colors for me, and I clicked it and it was just like copied to your clipboard. Like, oh,
No.
well,
Yeah, it
actually,
should probably just be that.
I wanted that down here.
Um,
Okay,
yeah.
so let's set a background image on this. Do I go to design? What is this? Background? Source.
Yeah.
Image.
A lot of people get stuck with this UI because it's like very icon based.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like learn at first. But you know how in Oxygen, like a lot of people switched to like just changing everything to like icons and shortcuts anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that like once you get used to, like it's still sometimes hard with the icons, but once you get used to it, like it's faster going through icons than like scrolling through sections.
You know where it is after that, yeah.
Yeah. But
Um,
the other thing I wish they had was shortcuts, because then I would just hit like Shift B or something on my keyboard and just go to background.
that would be nice. Okay, and then I'm assuming that I can just set like inheritance for colors on this text, right? Yeah, cool. Okay. Sweet. So then really an element like this, I guess we would componentize the whole section and then
Yeah, because
attach.
I guess the thought would be we don't want someone coming in and breaking this.
Yeah. But they need to be able to edit the heading, the text, and the button text, maybe
Yeah, exactly.
button destination. So then section
Yeah.
would be create component. We'll call it hero section. Okay. And then trying to do this from memory. Modify property, right? Text.
Yeah.
And then hero title. I'm a title. Do I need a placeholder as well?
I don't think you need either of them. It'll just show up blank if you have nothing.
Oh, okay. I guess
But
I'll put
like the
something.
default's useful because like if someone were to insert this component rather than having just a background image, like it at least say like, here's my subheading, change this text.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So then I could go, I guess, from here with another text component for the subline, the like whatever you would call it, subtext or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Default. This is the description. Hero subtext. We'll call it that. Okay. And then another one would be for our button, right? We would need our button text.
Yeah, button text.
Hero button text. Default. Learn more. And then can we do a link?
Yeah.
Hero button link. Link type. What's the difference between simple and advanced? Maybe it's like rel
Simple,
no
I think, is just like
open.
a URL box. Advanced would be like dynamic data.
Okay. We'll just rock simple for now.
Nice.
And then I guess, could you also give them the ability to change the background image?
Yeah.
Hero BKG IMG. All right.
And then what if we did something more advanced where we could change the appearance of the button somehow?
Could you do class?
Let's see what these properties are. So there's
Oh, sorry. I'll go back.
Oh, no worries. So there's class options, visibility. So okay, for fun, why don't we add CSS text? That's interesting too. I wonder what this one is.
I don't know.
Maybe you can add your own. I don't know what that would be.
Cwicly chat said background image isn't possible yet.
Okay.
That's okay. That's fine.
Linked back. Yeah. Okay. And then what if we added, let's try another one that we haven't really played around with. We could do visibility and we could do default.
Hide me.
Let's do button or like button visibility, maybe call it.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. Do button visibility and then set it to visible.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And then yeah, what's that other class property? I see you just added one, but
Oh, I think I accidentally clicked it twice.
okay. No, that one's different. This one's CSS text that we don't know what this does yet. And then class would be maybe this is related to what we were talking about earlier. So maybe try a like hero button or something.
Maybe like hero button large to like
Yeah.
expand
Although
it.
that's the name. So then, okay.
I don't have a class for this, so I assume it will probably.
Yeah, just make one.
What is it? Dash large, right?
If you're not using BEM, yeah.
Yeah. IDGAF. Okay, so we got a bunch of those. So now we could then go to each.
We got to link them all.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go content, hero title. I'm glad I named these somewhat properly. And then can I just keep this window open? Oh no, okay. So this one would be hero subtext. And then button content, hero button text. And then what about the link? Maybe
Yeah, or visibility. I think it is. At the top, see where there's like a
it's
little
right
link
there.
icon. Yeah.
Hero button link. That is dope, actually. And then the visibility was this button visibility, right?
Yeah. And then we had classes as the last thing for this one.
So then I would go to linked classes, right? Hero button large.
Nice.
Okay.
I think that was all of them.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think so.
CSS text. We don't know what that one is yet.
Yeah.
I don't know where you would even add that. Or actually, maybe go to advanced, the advanced tab here. No. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe if Cwicly Chat's still around, they can tell us what that is. Oh, there we go. This is like the oxygen code editor when it expands, and you're like, how the hell do I shrink this panel? At least that's, I would scream at my monitor like that, like, God,
Just get an add-on.
Okay, so then I guess I would go back to this, right? Now I'm at the customize. So
Yeah.
can I just duplicate this? I want to see the changes between the two sections. So top hero title. I'll just add a little bit of, my shortcut. Here we go. There we go. Hero button text, by me. Hero button link. So we did the simple one here rather than advanced. Oops.
Yeah.
I moved it and it did not like that. Hero button link. We'll just do Google. Link rel. Cool. So you got all the no follow, no opener stuff. Title, attribute, ARIA label. Cool. Okay. Just as you would expect. And then you could just hide the button altogether.
Yeah, it's pretty
so
cool.
Is this a display none, or is this like a condition?
No, from what I saw in the live stream, it hides it on the front end.
Dope.
Yeah, which is good.
Oh, Cwicly Chat says you can also type directly in the editor. Hello world. Nice. That's sick. That's actually one thing that I don't like about Block Studio is that, or at least when I last tested it, which has been a little, like quite a few weeks since I last played with it. You can click on the component, but it just selects the whole thing, and then it brings up all the sidebar options. So you have to add the text in there, but here you could just paste it right in like Word doc style. That's actually super sick. Your boy might be spending some more time with Cwicly. Yeah, this is really cool. Kevin just said it's starting to click right as I was singing my little song. Damn right it is. Okay,
yeah,
so
you know when you're singing and dancing.
I mean,
something's up.
It's so dope. Like this component control is like, I mean, it's something that I've wanted for a long time and just couldn't really, I mean, Kevin already said this. I couldn't really vocalize what it was that I was actually after. And like the patchwork solutions of Block Studio or ACF flexible content fields was like almost where I was. So hopefully.
So that class that you were just hovering.
Yeah. We need to style it, I think.
Oh, I guess you can add a class. Okay. So there's like that plus button and you could add your own different class to it. You could say like, yeah, exactly.
So then there was a little thing here that said like global. Does this add that as a?
Yeah. So if you close this modal, and then maybe try clicking on button Alt. I don't know if you're actually going to be able to edit the class here, but you can try.
No, clicking it doesn't do anything.
Okay. Yeah, I would assume that's probably maybe something that they're still working on, or they just don't want you to create new classes from here. Like it's more so to like select existing classes, but
so I mean, really, you would have this pre-styled anyway, so it wouldn't actually really matter.
Yeah, exactly. We could style that class now if we want to like see the difference.
Yeah, sure. What would be the easiest way?
Easiest way would be to click on your component again. And then just click modify. And then click on the button. And then add a new class.
Is it this panel? This one?
The little icon, yeah. And then just click the button Alt one that we have. And then, yeah, click on that. And then you could change.
Maybe like change padding or something. 2.5 rem, make it freaking massive. Okay. So what did we do?
Yeah, okay. And then I guess we'd have to figure out why it's not adding that class.
I'll also change the color too, just in case. Let's go, we'll just make it, red is going to look terrible against that background. Let's make it like some other shade, like neon green. We'll make it even worse.
And then make the typography bigger because we haven't changed that, just to see if maybe our styles are getting overwritten somehow.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
for sure. Oh, well, actually it applied to both buttons. So were we editing this one that whole time?
And no, we're on button Alt.
Is this is the little indicator that we're on it?
Yeah, you know where it says class right above? Like there's that
Oh, I
field.
see. Yep.
Yeah, that's how you know which one you're.
Okay. Got it.
So now remove that class for a second. And then let's see your, let me just move. Okay, so our one section, the top one, which we added this class to, has the bigger button, and then the other one doesn't.
Oh, and I mean, we added the class directly to this button, so it would go to both components, right?
Yeah, but we just removed it. So now we're just back, like if you click back to the hero section, and then, yeah, so this one has button large and button alt, whereas the next section doesn't have that, right?
Nice. Yeah,
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 just
exactly.
button large. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's cool. You can add like a custom class even without modifying the component.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Wow. I will say I am very, very impressed. This is cool. I scrubbed through the live stream that Louis was going through with these, and I was like, that seems pretty cool. And that was like the end of it. And then you messaged me, or we were chatting, and you were like, you want to go through this? And I was like, sure. But I just didn't really like, understand what we were actually going to get into. So, I mean, having an entire section like this is pretty sick because, like we were talking about, if you have like a marketing manager, they can come in and drop, these sections in, and then they can't rearrange stuff, right? And they can't directly edit the
Right, they would have to
styling.
modify the component.
I wonder if you can lock that down.
I think you can. The role editor, you can pretty much lock down every single control.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, like even that color palette where you selected your colors from, like, where you're like, I wish this just inserted.
Yeah.
Like you can disable that too.
Like that individual piece of it.
That little, just a little color palette. Yeah.
Damn, that's cool. That's awesome. I mean, I'm thoroughly impressed with this. That's pretty killer. What's the thought from everybody watching? Hopefully you guys seem, or hopefully you're as impressed as I seem to be. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, Max said defining components seemed easy enough to me. I would agree. Once I kind of just comprehended what you needed to do in terms of adding the components and kind of connecting it to the, I don't know what the right terminology is. What are these things called?
Properties. So just connecting the properties to the,
properties to the component.
Yeah, like I think if people can create ACF fields and attach it to their templates, like this seems like an easier process for me.
For 100%. Yeah, most definitely. Kareem says this will be on cloud too, so you can use it cross-site. Like, can you define components and properties cross-site?
Oh, that'd actually be really cool.
That would be actually pretty badass because you could have like one source of truth for one source of truth. But yeah, I kind of glossed over your comment about the creating ACF fields. I totally agree. I created so many tutorials about creating ACF fields and never did I hear people say, I can't do this. This is too hard. I mean, I just looked, I have like 180 videos or something. And in probably like 80 or 90 of them, there's some degree of ACF, and never once did people say, I can't do this. I don't have ACF. So it's like, this is honestly way better.
Yeah, ACF is actually a pretty complicated tool that people seem to just understand somehow.
Yeah, it really is, dude. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to it. And I mean, if you don't, especially if your builder doesn't have good dynamic controls, like let's say you strip away the dynamic data of oxygen or bricks and you want to get an ACF field on there, you realize like, especially for more than just a basic text field, like for an image, it's like, holy crap, this is actually not that easy because you have to define all the attributes and link text and all that kind of stuff that you take for granted that you can do in 3 seconds with a button click. Like you got to do it all by hand. So let's see. Bryn had a good question. If this is pre-beta, how far off is all this goodness? That's a great question because I mean, really, we haven't run up against any major technical hurdles other than me accidentally putting the components inside of each other, which it seemed to not like. But actually, you know what we could do? We could stick a card inside of this, right?
That'd be interesting. I wonder if that's included in this beta, but
I don't
it might
know.
be.
Let's see. What would I type in? Can I
Probably
just
nothing. I don't think it would show up here, right? Because it's like its own, or maybe there's an element. Is there a component element or no?
maybe let me type component. No.
No. So I guess just from the library.
Cwicly says you can't place the same component within itself. That was exactly what the problem was.
Hmm.
So I clicked
Right.
it. I have my cursor right here on this paragraph, and I click the card. It
Oh wait,
says,
what if you scroll down? Like I see your scroll bar is pretty big. Is it here somewhere? No.
I don't think so. Let me try again.
Oh, wait. Okay, maybe this is a bug, but what if you try clicking on the section like container? Maybe it'll. Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
good call.
Years of troubleshooting.
Oh yeah, that's a good question too, Max. Can you drag and drop? No, it does not appear so. Yeah.
Yeah, because ideally it'd be nice if you could organize all your components, like hero sections, cards, buttons, kind of like a style guide.
Yep. That's pretty sick. I mean, I don't think you would ever stick a card in this way that we've done it in this particular example. But I mean, you never know what people do. Sometimes you see people's sites and you're just like, Jesus H Christ, how is this what you did? And so I don't know. That is very cool. It works. Cloud library design sounds very nice, says Brent. Yes, I totally agree. I'm gonna get rid of this because this is bothering me how terrible it is.
Now think about combining components with container queries.
Elijah says, I can't believe you've done this. Very valid reaction to many websites behind the scenes. Quickly, you can see that you can link the card properties to the parent component properties. Oh,
Okay, let's play around with that.
so click the section. Oh, here's my card that I think we tried to add earlier, but it kind of whacked out. Okay, so stick a
just
card.
back to Kevin's comment about combining components with container queries.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, can you explain that? I feel like I don't understand, and I probably should.
Yeah, me too.
Do you understand?
No, I barely.
Container queries are like media queries, but they're newer and better and upcoming, I think, hopefully.
Yeah. Max says it is much better than ACF flexible content or repeaters. 100% this is better. Absolutely. With container queries, you can build a component that structures itself differently based on the size of the container that you place it in.
Yeah, so instead of media queries where it's like screen width 768 pixels or whatever, it would just be like if how big is the container, and you can modify CSS that way.
Sounds.
I'm trying to think of how I would use that, but I'm sure there's plenty of ways.
I'm gonna quickly Google. I've watched Kevin Powell's video on it, but clearly it didn't resonate with me enough to take up space in my brain. It says enables you to apply styles to an element based on the size of the element's container. So like a media query, you would say max width of 30 EM, or a container query, you can say width is greater than 15 EM. What's the like browser adoption? Container query is 87%, so it's pretty good. All the major browsers fully support it. Oh, actually, well, no, that's not true. Safari is on technical preview, but Firefox and Chrome fully support it. Okay. That's good to know.
Remember back in the day when browsers didn't auto update and people had to opt in manually and like click download, and then wasn't that the worst?
I definitely remember being on like, Chrome, whatever, I don't know, like let's say like 10 and current versions like 32. I'm like, no, I will not update. Absolutely not. You can't force me to. Okay.
It's so much better now though, because now you're not like waiting for everyone to hit hit update just so you can use Gap.
For sure, for sure. I just send it. I'm like, I'm using it.
It's
Dude,
your
so
problem if it doesn't work.
yeah, please update.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna try nested components.
Oh yeah. I got sidetracked. So I need to go to modify, right?
Yeah, probably. And then okay, we have the card in here already, but it's
Kind of
oh yeah,
fell
it's
out
not
of
in the
our.
section. There you go.
There we go.
Nice.
Okay. So then for our card, it doesn't like the way that it's positioned. Its little preview is it's kind
Yeah.
of whacked out. Beta, don't forget, pre-beta. So what did we do? Oh yeah, we have our hello world and our learn more, so we can go like this. Hero title, will it give us the same title? I'm a title. Am I understanding this right? So I should be able to grab this
Yeah.
right here and it pop up down here.
Yeah, I feel like that should Hello World. Wait, what is the hero title?
I'm a title.
Oh, I'm a title. Okay. And that was set. Yeah, we typed that in, right?
Maybe not.
I don't know if that matters. Um,
It's also interesting though because this hero section, the second one is I'm a title, but when I was modifying that card, we were actually in the upper one.
oh wait, dude, because it's in the first section, and we
Oh,
were looking at the second instance of
I
it.
see. Yep, good
Because
call.
Hello World is this one.
It's
So
hard because this little like hover
yeah, the
effect right
preview.
now is whacked out, so it's
Yeah.
giving me a little bit of difficulty. But yeah, so I would just
Yeah.
want to
So yeah, let's click this one.
click. Where's my
Click the
modified?
image maybe. Yeah, okay. So oh, see, I wonder which one we're actually changing because of the preview. We could be changing.
Let's just give this another title of like, oh Canada. Okay, so I modified card 2, oh Canada, on that one. It also changed it there, right? Because
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. So right now we're custom. Wait, change it there. Does that make sense? It does. It does.
yeah,
Okay.
because we modified the
This is
well,
Inception. But I think if we go to modify component, this is okay. This is what we wanted to do. Modify component, and then click on the O Canada, like the actual text element.
it doesn't seem like it wants me to.
It doesn't let you click it.
Yeah, pretty mad about this.
Okay, another idea. Click on the hero section in the navigator. Let's like just get to that thing manually.
Mm-hmm.
And then click modify component.
Okay.
So now we have card 2 exposed.
Whoa.
Oh.
It is very mad.
Yeah.
We are breaking this severely.
Which is again to be expected, but yeah.
All right, so I have card 2 selected now at least.
But I feel like it's all gone. I think we lost it. Oh no, we didn't. Oh, weird.
Hashtag beta. I mean, I
Okay,
think
want to try this one more time?
sure.
Okay, click on modify component.
I'm gonna go very slowly.
Yeah.
It is quite mad.
Right. Okay.
It must just be Inception is kind of whacked out right now.
Yeah.
Peace out, Kevin. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Quickly says apologize. A page refresh might help here. I actually haven't saved a single time since we've done this, I don't think. So, saving failed. Uh-oh. So actually, this is a question we can answer with a simple refresh. Are our components saved without like necessarily a page save?
Well, like update would, like with reusable blocks, when you hit update, you can update reusable blocks or the page.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing nothing saved because we didn't hit update ever. But it looks like it all saved.
It looks like it's fine. Yeah.
Oh. No, it
So
didn't all save because we lost our global classes, but
that's okay.
some of it saved.
For the most part, yeah, it's pretty solid. Well, okay, so hero section. Let's modify this now. Actually, it looks like our... well, maybe not. So we'll modify.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we're gonna see, can you click on O Canada again? No, it's still kind of...
There we go.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh nice. All right, okay, so we're back to where we want to be. And then that little teal thing, yeah. We want to do hero title.
Boom, baby.
So hello world. And then is the second one something to a title?
It
No, it's on the
disappeared,
paragraph.
but I wonder if
Yeah, maybe if you hit update and check it on the front end, maybe like this almost reminds me of like oxygen repeaters where you don't actually see it update right away. So that one's hello world. Oh, yeah, the other one's not showing up for some reason.
that one's still, yeah.
It thinks it's empty. Wait, okay. I'm a title. I don't think we set that one.
No, we did not. Because, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe
here.
that's the... I can't remember if we put it as like a placeholder or default.
Let's just say like, let's see. Streaming live. So I'll update and then let's refresh again.
Oh yeah, so that worked.
Cool. That's working exactly as intended. So the nested works.
Yeah, that is cool.
Very neat.
There's one other thing I wanted to try. So
Sure.
styles. I don't know how to use this yet, obviously. Maybe for now, let's remove the nested card just so we can have like a clean slate to work with.
Okay.
And then, yeah, click there and then go to modify component. And then the styles thing. What should we try? Like could do light and dark or just style one, style two. It doesn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah, let's just do a dark, and then our text right now is white, so that'll be easy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I just type in that.
Yeah, I wonder if this is the default or if this is a new one.
I don't know.
Or I think I saw on the live stream there is like a default and these would be additional.
Okay.
Okay, so then let's do wait, what would you classify this section? Dark or light? Dark, I guess.
Maybe we just want to do one so we don't confuse ourselves.
Yeah.
So dark there.
Okay, and then now let's say we want to make, well, this is confusing because the section's already dark technically because it has white text.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So maybe a light?
We'll call it light.
Okay.
And then
and then
we would exit, right? And then go to the second one.
no, I think basically properties get like a section or a separate like you know for each property, I think now you have two variations of it. I think that's how it works. So if we go to modify component, and then if we click on one of these properties, or no, that's not it. No, if you go to one of the elements then, so maybe click on hello world, like the actual element, yeah. See at the top it says base.
Yeah.
Can you change? You can't change that, eh?
No, if I click on it, it doesn't work.
I know that's where you change it. I just don't know how to get to that.
Max said styles tab.
Styles tab.
I don't see a styles tab.
Oh, there it is. It just
Where?
changed from base to light.
Oh, cool.
Right. Okay, because you can't change the primary tab. You can't change like it'd just be your design that's changing for the
Yeah.
variation.
Okay, okay.
So we're in base. So what happens if we go to light and then we
Just
have the
like,
background, we have the background hooked up right now, right?
yeah.
So let's hook it up.
Well, the background image isn't dynamic yet, but we could do an overlay on this one, right?
All right. Oh yeah, we're changing the heading
Oh,
anyways.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's background. Now what happens if you go back to base? Oh, okay. So that's actually pretty sweet. So now click where your mouse is. And then we want to get out of modifying this.
So just back to the component, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then,
Um, and oh, we probably have to add a property maybe for the style.
okay. So I guess back to modify, right?
Yeah.
Modify component, style.
And then maybe a new property for style is my guess. Is there one?
No?
No. You would need two styles.
That's very confusing.
Just try a different style or just add a new one.
Just type in dark.
Yeah, just whatever.
Okay.
Basis for properties you want to apply to your style.
Okay.
Okay. And then how do we choose a style?
Good question. So it's not on the
Maybe now
property
that we have
itself.
maybe now that we have two, it'll show up.
Hero section, base. I guess if I get out of the component.
Oh yeah, there it is. So it shows up once you have two, it looks like.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that is sick, actually.
Nice. Okay. So that would be really easy to create variations of stuff like this. Like an overlay header versus just like a gradient, like off-white kind of hero section with no image, maybe.
Yeah, because then you could add, if you have the same control, you could add different classes. So you could have like, yeah, you could have light and then have all different classes and then click dark and maybe have like different spacing and whatever.
Also, you can connect properties to specific styles. That kind of sounds like what you're talking about.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a second set of properties.
This is Inception like level 5.
This is like more advanced than Figma components.
Have you seen Inception, the movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like I love the scene when they're like, I think they're in like the fourth layer or whatever, and there's like the tall buildings they're walking through with like the waves, and like the buildings are
Yeah.
crumbling. That's what this feels like.
Oh man, I love that. Do you ever have Inception dreams?
I sometimes have dreams that feel so intense that I'm like it feels real. So I think the answer to your question is yes.
But then like I have that too, and then I'm like, wake up, it's a dream. And then I'm like, okay, thank God I woke up. But then I'm actually still dreaming.
No, I don't have that, but to kind of my point, it's like I wake up and it's like my like real world doesn't feel real. I'm like, wait a second, was that a dream or was that real life? I probably need some sort of medication.
Yeah, that's usually the answer to everything.
The man keeping us down, dude. Cool. Man, this is pretty sick. I think that in real world use cases, there's a lot of stuff here. I want to be respectful of your time as obviously as well as mine and everybody else's. We're at an hour and 40 minutes so far.
Damn, that's crazy.
This is very cool. I mean, shout out the Cwicly team. This is pretty dope. I wish I could. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Boy, back to us on the stream view. Let's go. I wish that was easier for me to do earlier, but this is really cool. I'm pretty stoked about this. I mean, right now for me it would be tough to confidently take on a brand new client project with this just because of my unfamiliarity and kind of the speed
Yeah, for sure.
aspect to it, but it's going to be running around in the back of my mind. That's for sure. Like this is very let's see. What's the word? This is very intriguing, I guess I would say.
I actually did have a question for you. I remember. So, when you switched to Generate Press last year,
Hmm.
you mentioned that you wanted to like simplify the sites you're like you said you're building complicated sites and weren't making any more money on it.
Hmm.
It just was like more complicated and you made more money, but it took longer.
Yeah,
So it was kind of like the same as making simple sites.
definitely.
But then I saw you had a comment in one of the groups saying now you do fewer projects and more complicated like dashboards and stuff.
It's
So I'm
actually
curious like where you landed on that.
It's funny you say that. It's really like it's come back around. But like last year and 2021 and the kind of the early part of 2022 with Oxygen was like I was building sites for small businesses that are, 5 to 7 sites, and I would have sometimes 3 or 4 of those going at one time, and then there would be like these other large complicated projects with like ACF fields and dashboards and logins and all that kind of stuff. So really it was a massive headache because the workload was so intense. There was like not enough time to really dish out to all of the projects and keep them alive. But now what I've done is I've been dabbling a little bit in the monthly sites, with the like $220 a month for like a 5-page site that are kind of template based, and those are really fast to churn out. I still don't have very many of them. I think I'm at like 9 or something right now. So it's nothing.
9 monthly sites? I feel like
Yeah,
that's quite a bit. That's
yeah.
pretty good.
So it's
How are
like
you finding those clients?
all local. They're all like,
Hmm. Like, are you doing outreach or they just come to you?
just SEO and like word of mouth kind of stuff.
Hmm,
So
that's cool.
just local stuff, which I mean, that monthly recurring is obviously fantastic. But what that's done is freed me up to do these kind of more complicated projects. But what I decided to do was just like I'm basically telling myself that I'm only going to do 2 at a time. Like there's just no spare capacity to do more than 2, but I'm also pricing them way higher than I used to.
Yeah.
So that way there's like enough, I guess, skin
Actually
in the
some
game.
margin, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really being intentional about what I'm taking on. So, not something that I don't have confidence in or no experience in doing, then I'm just not going to take that. But like the the big sites that I've done all kind of have the same flow. It's like they need to protect some documents and like, have like a contact form that's secured and maybe like a small little like forum or blog post or
Yeah.
whatever. And those I just know the ins and outs of. So it makes sense. Um, so yeah,
That's
it's kind
cool.
of come
And
back
then
around.
yeah. And then with your monthly sites, how are you pricing that?
That is the, all those are just based on number of pages. So
Yeah.
it's 180 a month for up to 5 pages, then it's 220 for up to 10, and then nobody has taken the ultimate plan, which is like up to 25
Right.
pages, but that's $300 a month. Almost all of them have fallen in the 220 a month, and so far out of all of them, I've only had one person cancel early. So it's going, knock on some serious wood real quick though. Um, it's going pretty good.
And what happened when they canceled early?
I just offer like a 30-day. If you're not happy in the first 30 days, you can
Mm,
cancel. And
oh,
this
I
person
see.
just took
Yeah.
advantage of that.
Uh, and then so what if they come to you in like 3 years and they're like, we want to redesign?
Basically, what I told people is that the the monthly fee is for 24 months. It's like that 220 a month for 24 months. After that 24 months, it drops to my care plan price, which is 99.
Yeah,
And then if they come back and want another redesign, we would just bump back up to the plan.
I
But so
see.
far,
That's cool.
I'm not through the full term yet for anybody, so that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm working on like a little guide that's like recurring revenue streams for web designers. Maybe we can even talk about this in a separate stream, but I feel like if you just make websites, you're kind of like a general handyman, and like the people who actually make money have some kind of niche or like system, like in
Mm-hmm.
terms of just even pricing different. Actually, I saw my fiance, she's starting her own therapy practice, and there's a site called like therapy websites or something like that, and they do like a website in a day service, and they charge 3 grand
Mm-hmm.
to modify one of their Squarespace templates. And like for a therapist, it makes sense because it's like, I'll get my website tomorrow. I can already see what it looks like. It's
Yeah.
not like, oh, but it's not custom designed. It's like, no, I can see what it looks like. And the designers going to Starbucks for a day, making 3 grand, just like putting in content really.
Yeah.
But then like, it's so easy for us to just like take on any project that comes our way. that we become like the handyman who's just making like hourly, like taking on hourly projects, and it takes a month to make 3 grand just working on like some random site that's like an hour here, 2 hours there. So yeah, that's just something I was thinking about the
For
other day.
sure. I mean, what you just said is exactly what I am trying to not do anymore, which is like unless I know the ins and outs of the project, like unless I've done it before, I'm not taking it on. And that sounds kind of like a little bit redundant, but I was guilty of that, like thinking like, oh well, I have the power of oxygen and ACF in my back pocket, so like I can pretty much do anything. And
Yeah.
that was the pitfall. It was like, well, then it opens up a whole slew of other stuff. Then it like, you know, starts encroaching on like, oh, by the way, we need a part of our website's WooCommerce. I'm like, oh shit. Or, stuff like that where now it's just like absolutely not. No, 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 no. And really what I'm focusing on is kind of these like private, I call them private portals, of just like little intranets for companies that kind of need some sort of protected access area. And it's either that or 5-page brochure sites, and that's about it these days. So
Hmm.
um, I agree with you though. That was another big part of the shift away from those super complex custom sites. Is most of the time they were outsourced to me by other agencies, so there was no opportunity
Hmm.
for care plan revenue or any kind of monthly
True.
revenue.
Yeah.
So you get this big kind of project fee, and then that tapers off. So that was tough too, just for like consistent cash flow purposes.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like like being a web designer in general is not, or web design in general is not like a good business model. Like you kind of have to think a different way around it. Like with the handyman example, I try to think of houses like who's making the most money when someone's coming in to repair stuff. It's either like the landlord or the investor or the HVAC company who has the thing in there rented out for $50 a month. It's usually not the person who's coming and like doing whatever you ask. So
Yeah,
I think it's interesting to think of it that way.
that's a very good analogy. Yeah, I mean, like my buddy Ryan that I interviewed a couple months back, his whole business is the monthly websites. He does nothing except that. So like if you come to him wanting a custom site or WooCommerce or whatever, it's just a no. And the dude makes 100 grand a month in recurring revenue as a result of that. Like
Oh shit.
it's
Okay.
it's wild, dude. If you haven't seen that, he's a very very interesting guy, super open, really nice. And he was really my model for the monthly sites, but
Hmm.
I have my hand in other pots with like the courses and Pi Calendar and stuff like that. So fortunately, I have you know uh, other areas to put my focus rather than trying to grow the
Yeah.
monthly site business.
Yeah, true.
Cwicly says thank you for reviewing a lot of great information. Impressed by Jonathan's ease of use with Cwicly. I think that's thanks to Sunny's incredible guidance, as they said.
No, I didn't have to do much. That was all you.
I thought that was really 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 cool. That was good teamwork. Sometimes I give up on stuff too soon in these streams because I want to keep the momentum going. But you were there obviously to keep it lively
Yeah,
and
just
interesting.
like whenever I'm watching and you're like, why doesn't this thing like the last time I think you didn't have the oxygen beta or something. You're like, where's the code editor? I'm like,
Yeah.
the beta.
That's why I said I know people scream at their monitors. They're like, "You idiot!
Yeah.
It's right there."
I'm sure the Quickly team was doing that when we're like, what does this thing do?
And then we're like, "Why can't we click on this?" And they're like, "You dumbasses, refresh." Elijah says, "I know it was an accident, but I like the format of screen share with commentary, no head cams getting in the way." Interesting. I like that feedback.
I think he was just confirming that we're ugly.
Yeah, I think so.
Polite way of doing it.
Elijah's a good-looking dude. I'm not afraid to admit
Yes.
it. Well, I really appreciate you joining, dude. I'll give you back some of your Friday so you can go write your newsletter. And then
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna do right after this. I just can't wait.
next time I'm gonna make the hue of my lights match yours. Actually, you're this way on my screen. Um,
Oh yeah.
I'll go blue instead of purple. Funny enough, this
Well,
is
I
like
think I have 2 blues and 1 purple, so good luck with that.
I think I've got like a purple aqua and then like a pink red. So next time I'll do I'll do the blue. Um, but I think this is oxygen purple. So that's where that
Uh-oh.
came from.
That's for Elijah.
For sure. Dude, thank you so much. Thank you everybody for watching the stream. Shout out to Cwicly and Louis, sorry, and the whole Cwicly team for giving us this access. I only reached out to them yesterday at like noon local time, and they hooked us up. So if you guys whip something out late last night to let us do this, I really appreciate it. I'm far more impressed than Cwicly than I ever thought I would be, to be honest, and I'm excited to use it and share with people what we've learned. So hopefully this video has been helpful. And
yeah, and if I can say one thing is please join Jonathan's Facebook group, because you tagged me in it yesterday and I didn't know it existed, and then I tagged you in mine and you didn't know mine existed.
likewise, yeah, we both have Facebook groups. Like I mentioned early on in the stream, if you're not signed up for the NewPulse Labs newsletter, link is in the description, so definitely do that. Until next time, hopefully we'll have you back again, Sonny, at some point soon. Thank you for joining, and sayonara, everybody.